after a couple of lighter days for this Indiana Fever team, they got back to it on the main court here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse for a practice. I'm Scott Agness of FieldhouseFiles.com. Make sure you are subscribed there as well as here to my YouTube channel. Now, it was a busy practice. A lot came out of it. No need to bury the lead. We'll start with Caitlin Clark, and no update provided on that front just yet. She was off to the side, adjacent to the Fever bench that you're familiar with, sitting with other injured players, with Ari McDonald and Sophie Cunningham. And of course, the big news yesterday is that Cunningham officially out for the remainder of the season. Suffered an MCL tear in her right knee in the Fever's last game. It was just less than a couple of minutes into that game, the second quarter there up in Connecticut, and still the Fever rallied back from a 21-point hole. It's the largest comeback in franchise history. So a lot of what was covered today too was the resilience of this team, how they have continued to come through the different obstacles and battles and adversity, whatever word you want to use, time and time again. And now they have 9 games left here in this regular season. Now, it's Ari McDonald's birthday, so they celebrated that. Her scooter was decorated, and so they enjoyed seeing her, and she was honking her horn there to wrap up practice as well. So Cunningham out, McDonald out, and obviously Sydney Colson out as well. That's 4 players currently out with injury, 3 of them being season-ending. Now we look ahead to what's to come. They have another practice scheduled for Thursday before they resume action following a nice break. Finally, they got a nice break in their schedule, 4 days between games, and they'll resume against the best team in the league. Friday at home and Sunday on the road at Minnesota. It's just bizarre scheduling we're seeing from the league here. 3 times over the final 9 games, the Fever will face this Minnesota team that they're familiar with from the NBA or WNBA Cup Championship, Commissioner's Cup, that they won in Minnesota. But after practice, we heard from the newest face as well, Shey Peddy, who joined the roster yesterday, as the Fever still search for answers at that point guard spot, and losing Cunningham shifted priorities a little bit to a known commodity, a player that has been in the league, played over 100 games. She's shorter, 5'7", but she's played over 120-some games. She's defensive-minded, has been around the league for more than a decade, and has great familiarity. She said she played with Breon January. She knows Kelsey Mitchell very well and several others. So there is some familiarity as well. So after practice, we talked with head coach Stephanie White, Kelsey Mitchell, who yesterday was awarded Player of the Week in the Eastern Conference, and we also heard from the newest member of the Fever, Shey Peddy. Steph, kind of your reaction? We saw a little bit of it over the weekend, but to see yet another player go down, I mean, what does that felt like as you've had a few days to comprehend what went down?
I mean, it's tough. You know, you never want to see injuries happen, first and foremost. You hate it when it's to anyone, let alone, you know, the third season-ending injury that we've seen this year. But like I told our team at halftime, look, yes, we've been dealt a crappy hand, but we got to play it. You got to play it anyway. And, you know, I'm so proud of this group, and I know at this point it sounds cliche, but they have been so resilient. They have been so connected. They have stayed together. They have found a way. And you know, because of that, it's continued to put us in position to win ball games. And we're going to continue to battle, and we're going to continue to put ourselves in position. And we know it's not an easy road, but there's no group that I'd rather go to battle with.
It's crunch time sooner or later with the playoffs. What is your message to your team for us, like not trying to look too far ahead, but also taking care of business right in front of you?
Yeah, I mean, we have to make sure that our current game is the most important game. You know, we are in control, and we can only control what we can control. So, you know, Minnesota is the priority. They will continue to be the priority. You know, we can't get caught looking at the standings and hoping for things to happen. We have to take care of business when we have the opportunity.
If you don't mind going back to the current bit, what was it about Sunday's win that made you so emotional and passionate? Your team.
Just this team's been through a lot. They've been through a lot, and the fact that they still had it in them to come back from that deficit on the road after an injury to another teammate, it's just, they're a special group. And you know, it's to be able to compartmentalize all of the things that have happened, and to be able to compartmentalize in a game like that, you when it just happened again, and to come out and to battle for Soph and for each other. It's telling of who they are as people.
Losing Sophie, how much did that have to do with swapping out Cairo for Shey in the transaction?
Yeah, I mean, it had a lot to do with it, because when you have Sophie on the floor, you have experience, and Kyra can start to learn this league, and she can really develop, and you can use her in spot minutes with Sophie and with AB on the floor, and O on the floor, and Kels, and in those situations. And now not having Sophie, who had been our backup point guard at that point, we needed somebody with experience, and Shey has experience in this league. She's good at getting people where they're supposed to get to, and getting teams organized. We saw her earlier in the year in LA, and so it just it made a difference. We needed another experienced player.
With bringing Shey on, just what do you like about her game?
I like that she's an experienced point guard in our league. That she can get teams organized. That she's played in a number of high-profile, highly competitive games in this league, and that she's had situations with different teams, and so she can adapt and understands, and is high IQ, and can absorb a lot of information quickly.
How blown away have you been with the lady behind you, Kelsey, just what she did do for y'all?
I mean, she's just been incredible, and it's hard to think, because I've been watching her since she was a freshman in college. It's hard to think that she can surprise you in any way, because you've seen how amazing she is as a scorer at every level, and she just continues to. I mean, to bounce back from that first half in the way that she did, to continue to put us on her back and be a scorer, playmaker for our group, and not to mention the big steal that she got in overtime that I thought was huge. I'm so proud of her. She deserves this. She deserves more recognition than she gets. But she just continues to elevate when we need it.
Yeah. Any update on the situation with Caitlin? I know she was here. She's been time and time again. Any update regarding her?
No, I mean, until she can get into practice, and until you guys see her in practice, we're really status quo, same as we have been.
Bree Turner played some big minutes for you there late in the fourth quarter into overtime. What did you see from her when you subbed her in there initially that led you to make a decision to put her in crunch time?
Well, we've been using Bree in spot minutes, just defensive versatility. She can guard 1 through 5, and we knew we needed defensive presence, in that game, and brought her in, and she did a great job. She guarded Marina for a little while so that we could spell a break. I mean, it takes so much to come back from down 20 that we knew we needed some fresh legs, and we knew we needed them particularly on the defensive end of the floor. And so we got her in on the wing early, and then we're able to move her to Tina to give some length, because we knew that Tina was going to get touches as time wound down, and we were able to bring our guards back to chase Marina. So that Breezy's been the consummate pro. She's a great locker room person. She understands her role, and she comes in and she impacts. We often say stay ready so you don't have to get ready. She's one that you don't have to worry about. She's also a really high IQ player, so if she doesn't get reps in practice, she knows what to do on the floor, and so we trust her. And she was big in those moments.
We talked about the on-court difference with the injuries, but now Sydney and then Sophie, those are your big personalities.
Yeah.
The most vocal even in huddles. How much of a loss is that, and who has to step up to fix those areas?
Yeah, I mean, it's big. Energy, communication, Tosh and Kels. I mean, AB is another one that's always communicating, and you hear her often, but Tosh and Kels, they do it quietly in their own way, and now we've got to rely on them to be more vocal, and they have been. I think you see it a little bit in practice. You saw it throughout the course of that game, but they're going to be guys that we're gonna need to lean on to be more vocal.
We talk about the team and how the team is trying to gather all these injuries.
Yeah.
What about you? I mean, as the coach, how do you stay, level, not go too wild after what's been transpiring right in front of your face here with this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that helps is that we're in problem-solving mode, right? So you got to stay that compartmentalizes some of the emotional aspect of hating to see. I mean, I've never been through I don't know that I've been through all of these things collectively in my career, let alone in one season. But we also have a group that is ready to respond. There's a difference in reacting to situations and responding to situations, and this group responds, and that fuels us. I feel like our coaching staff is creative. That's one of our strengths. We're creative. I feel like we are good at putting people in positions to be successful. And you go from the gut punch of what happens to, okay, now how are we going to figure this out? And this group behind us just rolls with that, and it makes it easier when you're going through these tough times when you're doing it with great people.
What was the energy like in the locker room at halftime? Was anybody down, or that's a lot to go through? Obviously.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly at the time. I know initially, seeing Soph like it was when we saw Sid, it's down. But again, it's the emphasis of, look, it doesn't matter what cards we're dealt. We got to go out and play. And this group is resilient. This group are fighters. This group is gritty. This group is tough. And you got two options, right? You can fight or you can fold. And we ain't folding. And they showed that.
Yeah. So you're telling me there's still something this team is playing for this year, given where you're at in the playoff standings, and you could certainly throw a pity party, but this team showed Sunday it's not doing that.
No. I mean, look, no, we've got games to go out and play, and we want to surprise everybody, but we're playing for pride, we're playing for each other, we're playing for opportunity. We still control our destiny, and that's the best place to be in. It's not an easy road for us, and we know that, and we have to reconfigure how we go about positioning ourselves to win games. I mean, we've talked about defense all season long, but even more so now. We've got to create offense from that defense. We got to get to the free throw line. We've got to get easy buckets. It's going to be tough for us in half-court offense. So we've got to be able to get that from our defense. Our margin for error continues to get smaller. Our attention to detail has to be higher. Do we know that it's going to be a hard road? Yeah, but nothing ever worth pursuing is easy. And so we've got to be willing, and this group has been willing all season long to fight and position ourselves to win.
And so how important or nice or advantageous to have this prep time when you're facing the best team in the league in the next 2 games?
Yeah, it's really important, especially for our four that play heavy minutes, getting some rest. And then now when we're integrating, Odyssey still really hasn't had a lot of practice time. So getting her in the gym, getting Shey in the gym, to be able to get practice time with this group, to start to build some continuity for us as coaches, to peel it back, to keeping things simple, and trying to get really good, at the things that we feel like we can run with this group.
Your big game Sunday?
No,
Anybody meaningful?
nothing out of the ordinary. I was happy like my friends and family watched. But nobody out of the ordinary. Like, it was great. It was great hearing from Catch. We have a really close relationship, so it was really I never take that moment for granted whenever I talk to Tamika. So other than that, it was just about my friends, my family, the ones close to me.
How'd that second half feel in the moment?
I was grateful. I felt like my back was against the wall. Individually, I think as a group, we probably felt like that. You lose a player on top of losing 3 more. So that was a bit humbling. It was kind of it was a good check-in. Figure out where you are as a player. I always talk about preparation, so I really had to lean on that. I think I just try to rely on my work, and I usually say that, but I had to live by it.
How have you and your teammates been able to stay in this moment, knowing what has been going on, that any player doesn't really think about experience something you guys are experiencing this year with this team, these injuries?
I think that you have to stay resilient is one thing which we said all season, but I really think people don't take heed to what I say when I say that you have to have good culture. You have to have good people in your locker room. You have to have, decent humans for this thing to keep rolling, and I think it's important. I think when people have bad days and think bad things happen, I think lean on internal. I think internally we build relationships with one another to make them, make it not feel so horrible. And then the energy internally from Caitlin is still there. It hasn't really wavered. And I think that even though they're not on the floor, we still feel everyone's presence. So it sucks, it really does. But we try to stay together in every aspect.
In this one practice from Shey, obviously, so far, just what have you seen from her and her energy and just what she's been able to do?
It's not really new for me. Me and Shey played overseas together in Turkey with a team called Botash. It was a club, Botash. And so this is not my first rodeo. I've always admired who she was as a player anyway. Very resilient player. You know, she had her own story, and so we know and she knows how to win, and she's gonna teach us some things, gonna teach me some things. So I look forward to it. Plus, she was my roommate overseas, so this is like not new.
Basketball terms, what does Shey bring? Like, what should people be looking for?
Oh man, I think her run in DC, her run in Phoenix, she and O are really good at helping teams win games. Vet mindset, PG first, you know, doing what's necessary. And I think Shey, you know, also it's like you guys gotta get to know her. She's like a great person, so it's like that coupled with who she is as a person, it's just like it's perfect for us right now.
How about the challenge of facing the top team, Minnesota, 3 times over the final 9 games, including back-to-back?
Yeah, it's gonna be very gut check-ish. Gonna be a lot of like, you know, figuring out, you know, where you are. I mean, I can't really say it any other way. They're great for a reason. They're number 1 for a reason, and so you hope that everything leading up to this point, you let the chips fall where they may. But I think we all know in here how big that is for us, and so hopefully we show up. You know, the least we could do is play for 40 minutes and not tuck our tail and not give up. So.
You guys have had so many games in such a short period of time. How important was it here to have a few days before your game on Friday night?
Very grateful. I feel like that we don't stop, so I'm very grateful. However, we still practice it every day, so I don't know how much time you think I'm getting, because I'm not getting much.
How'd you kind of find out about this opportunity, and what are your initial thoughts about joining this group?
Well, my agent had called me on Monday and said, they were looking for a player, obviously, when Sophie went down. And I jumped right at the opportunity. That's just kind of clear-cut how it was. And I'm excited to be here. Like, I played with at least 4 or 5 of the players already. I know the coaching staff. I'm really close with Bree January. Played with her a year overseas. So it felt good. It felt easy to come in, get the plays running. Everybody's nice, welcoming. And, yeah.
How much does it help that there is 4 days between games for them that you can actually practice and learn what's going on?
Oh, it helps a lot. It helps a lot. When I joined LA, it was like right into the game. So that's kind of like unsettling because you don't feel confident. You want to go out there and just give your best performance. So being in here, getting these reps in is really helpful.
I know you've watched from afar and you've seen what's transpired with this team. What has impressed you about what they've been able to do with all these ups and downs, these injuries and things like that?
Yeah, just how resilient they are and haven't given up. I think it's easy when like your point guards go down and your top 3-pointer shooter and Sophie go down. It's hard to like stay happy and like want to work for something. And you can tell everybody in here is together. They still want to fight. They still know that we have a chance to make the playoffs. Nobody has given up. And when you got Kelsey playing how she is, like, you can't give up. Like, you see somebody going as hard as her, you got to match your intensity. So I really appreciate that about this team.
What has it been like to see the way this league as a whole has elevated since the time you first entered?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. A lot of fans, more media coverage, but you love it. Like, you love to see everybody giving us a fair chance and understand that, we can ball everybody on any team. We have great players, and we love the attention that we get in, whether you're, I wouldn't say good or bad, but we just love the attention. Everybody has their days. Everybody has their favorite players, favorite teams. But just to see, like, even Golden State, I'm so impressed by their fan base and how they're coming in the first year and just taking over the league how they have. So I really like that.
What do you hope to bring to this team?
Leadership, some stability, steadiness, and defense. I feel like that's where my thing is, defense. We have a lot of scorers. Obviously, I want to come down, be aggressive, hit down my threes when I can. But my thing is to get the ball to where it needs to be and be on defense, be up on the guards, making sure everybody's in their right spots, running the offense really well. I've been called a steady Betty, so I feel like, you know what you're going to get out of me. Like, I'm not going to do too much, not going to go out of my game, just continue to be the player I always am.
What's it like to have a 1-week job?
It sucks. It sucks. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, but I just try to take it day by day. I think at this stage in my career, I'm grateful just to still be able to play in the league. So whether it's a week, a day, a month, I'm going to come in and just work hard and give it my best.
Kind of following up on that, how much has your appreciation for opportunities like this changed as your career? It took you a while to break in and then injuries. How much has that changed how you feel about chances?
I think I still feel the same. I'm still appreciative of every opportunity I get. Like, I still can't believe I was actually able to play in the league for as long as I did. I feel like come from a mid-major, we kind of get overlooked. Like I wasn't like heavily recruited or don't have the All-American tag behind my name, but I was able to give a chance, and then people like what I can bring. I'm not a flashy player. I don't, not going to give you the oohs and ahs, but I feel like I do a lot of stuff that's not showing up on the stat sheet. And I think coaches and players can appreciate that.
Late next week or early the week after.